In this video, I will explain how to calculate the unemployment rate, the employment rate, and the labor force participation rate. So let's jump into an example. Let's consider the following table of data right here. So I've pulled this data directly from the US Bureau of Labor Statistics for June 2025. Now, in June 2025, the population of individuals who were 16 years or older was 273,585,000. The labor force was 170,381,000. Now, the labor force represents all of the individuals that are either employed or unemployed but actively seeking work. So I've made a note down here. The labor force excludes people not seeking work, such as retirees, students, or discouraged workers who have given up looking for a job. So keep that in mind. The number of employed individuals was 163,366,000, and the number of unemployed individuals was 7,015,000. Now, one quick thing to note is that the employed individuals plus the unemployed individuals, when you add those two together, they make up the labor force number right here. So given this data, let's first calculate the unemployment rate. So that's simply the number of unemployed individuals divided by the labor force times 100%. So in this case, the unemployment rate is simply the unemployed divided by the labor force times 100. So here's what we get when we do that calculation. So when we do that calculation, we come up with 4.1%. So this is the unemployment rate at the time that this data was released in June 2025. Now, to calculate the employment rate, that's calculated as the number of employed individuals divided by the population of individuals that are 16 years or older. So notice that when we're calculating the employment rate, the denominator that we're using is different than the unemployment rate. So the employment rate is showing the percentage of the entire population that is 16 years or older that is currently employed. So to calculate that, we'll just take the number employed divided by the population. So here's what we get when we do that. So we end up with 59.7%. So again, that represents of all the individuals who are 16 years or older, what percent of them are currently employed. Then lastly, we can calculate something known as the labor force participation rate, which is simply the labor force divided by the population of individuals who are 16 years or older. So to calculate that, we just take the labor force number and divide it by the population. So here's what we get when we do that. And that comes out to 62.3%. So the way that we interpret that is, of the population of individuals who are 16 years or older, 62.3% of them are employed, or they're unemployed, but they're actively seeking employment. So that is how you can calculate the unemployment rate, the employment rate, and the labor force participation rate given just the raw data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics.